Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Hummel, the Tier 6 German SPG. It's located on the eastbourne of Airfield and it's under the command of Angelina75.
Let's go.
Oh, no engine noises. We'll restart this one, but we'll push it along so we get to see the battle straight away. That's better, we got the engine noises back. Okay, well, Angelina is in contest with talon1958 for the weekend's line, and a few replays have come in. One from Angelina, one from Talon, so let's see how they get on. Now, she's got the stock gun, and 2 marks of excellence on that gun shows she's quite proficient with it. It's the same gun as the top gun on the Gorilla, which is why it's so accurate. It's got a much higher trajectory and it also actually has a faster reload. Okay, T-52 has been spotted up on Temple Mounts. It's got a little too close for her to get a shot on him at the moment. No, that one didn't hit him, but he was taken out by our T-52. Enemy T-3485M. Now the standard reload for the stock gun is 25.31 seconds. Angelina's got it down to 20.74. She fires blind. Oh, she got a direct hit on the T-3485. Now she knocked those trees down in the centre of the cap area to try and provide her some cover, but that T-34 might be close enough to actually see her, so she's actually moved a little closer to the buildings. Rounds out the Tiger, and it looks like she hit the Tiger, or the heavy tank number 6 I should say, and splashed the P-43 Biz. It's a Tier 6 game with only Tier 6 tanks in it, so she might not earn a huge amount of XP because she'll be hitting the same tier all the time. Oh, direct hit on the heavy tank number 6 again. Okay, we've got the same T-34 that she hit earlier there. AC-4 Experimental, that's the Australian tank. Well, it's actually listed under the British territory, but it is an Australian tank with a 17-pounder gun. And, well, it hit the ground where he was, splashed him, but eventually he was actually taken out by our T-3485M. The enemy is hemorrhaging tanks at the moment. They're 4 up. She's dialed in, but instead of firing, oh, she knows she's going back to the Firefly. Rounds out. Very close. Very close indeed. She did get a critical hit, which probably means she damaged the tracks of that tank. Now, you know that the stock gun does have a limited range from the position she's in at the moment. She can't fire over the entire width of the battlefield, but if she actually wants to move towards the centre of the map, she might do that. Another direct hit, and I think that was a penetration shot because this gun will do 480 alpha and penetrates 38mm of armour. And she actually managed to get 495 hit points off that last shot. So I think she penetrated the roof of the VK3001P. Changing position again to avoid counter battery and also to get closer to the enemy. Trouble is she can't get too close to these buildings, otherwise she will find that they obstruct her field of fire. Okay, lining her up. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh, another direct hit, but this time round not a penetration, only 142. Going for the 88. He's right at the extent of the, well, near the extent of the maximum range. You can always tell when you're getting close because the reticule gets flattened. It turns into an oval and eventually it'll turn into a flat line. Just stunned the 88 the last time. This time round I think she's going to try and go for a hit. There's only 5 enemies left. She fires ahead of the 88 and stuns him, and she's getting stun assist. Well, that 3-marked VK3601H is almost out of health. Yeah, the 88 did get him in the end. The other VK is going in for the kill though. Well, that one landed between them, and in fact actually it did splash the VK3601, so I don't think that Angelina's going to get the high caliber now, because she's probably been disqualified from it. Going for the M44. Okay, he's stopped for a brief moment. She fires ahead of him. Oh, and it lands right next door to him. And yet again she hits a teammate, this time the T78. But the game is over and it's a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first class tanker game for Angelina75 in the Hummel. She managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, she managed to get 10. And she got a Confederate medal because she hit more of the enemy than anyone else on her team. In fact, she didn't get a single kill, but she certainly did hit a lot of them. She also got a win rate of 1,768, which is very good score indeed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, she accidentally hit the T78, who was the highest scorer in the game. He got 2,109 hit points. The second highest scorer was the VK3601H, and that, I think, was the 3-marked one, who got 1,869. The third highest damage being the T3485M on her team, who got a Brothers in Arms and 1,471. Angelina came 4th on damage on her team, but she was actually 5th overall, because that enemy 88, the one she fired at, got slightly more hit points than she did. He got 1,373 and Angelina got 1,303. So he got 70 hit points more. Oh dear. Well, Angelina still got a Confederate as well, which means she got a medal and he didn't. When it came to kills, it was the T78 did the best with 4 kills. 3 kills went to both T3485Ms, which means they got the Brothers in Arms. And 2 kills went to the M4A3E2, the Sherman Jumbo, as well as that 88 on the enemy team. Angelina didn't get any kills at all, but she got the medal. The ARL-44 got a steel wall for blocking the most damage in the game as well. When it came to base XP, it was actually the T78 again who came out on top. 962 to him, 880 to the T3485M, and 835 to the VK3601H. And Angelina picked up 723, so she wasn't too far behind, but yes, it did put her in 5th place overall on XP. She fired 12 rounds in that game, got 5 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetration. Yes, I did say that. I thought she penetrated that VK3001P. Yes, it went through the roof of the vehicle. 13 splash hits as well. 1,303 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 7 of the enemy. Didn't get any kills, but she did get 938 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. On a premium count, she earned 41,316 credits, got 11,982 for holiday ops, total of 53,298 credits altogether, and after ammunition resupply took away 47,238 credits profit. 1,084 XP times 2 for the first victory, 2,170 for holiday ops, and 4,339 experience points altogether. So that's the first replay, and that puts Angelina in the lead for the weekend lie-in. And seeing as it's Thursday, Talon's going to have to do really well if he's going to beat her and get that lie-in instead. The next replay is on Lakeville, and we're watching Angelina in the FV207, and this is only her second game in this Arty. Oh, no sound again, so we'll have to restart it, and then we should have sound. Yep, that's running, and now we've got the engine noises. It's annoying that Wargaming haven't fixed that problem, because virtually everyone who creates videos has noticed this, and we're all having to overcome the problem by restarting the replay after it's already started, because they just rarely start without the with the engine noises. Well, Angelina's taken the FV207, the Tier 8 British SPG, to the back of the map, and she's now looking down the valley to try and find her first target. It's arrived. It's an M46 Ripper pattern. Of course, that's the pattern that was actually in Korea. Oh, she gets a lovely direct hit for the first shot. 182 hit points. Now, the FV207 was an SPG design that was made based on the Conqueror tank. It's got a variety of guns, but I suspect that Angelina's got the top gun. Direct hit again on the Ripper pattern, and he dies this time, so she picks up the stun assist. Now, you can either have a 5.5 inch gun or a 6 inch gun. Those are the only two guns they offer on the FV207. One of them will do 550 alpha with the standard HE. The other one does 650. As we can see from this, she's got the 550 one, which is actually the stock gun. 5.5 inch. It's the same as on the Crusader 5.5 inch. It's much faster firing than the Top Gun. It's only 140 millimeters actually. I think it says that there. Well, it doesn't actually say it there, but it's actually, no, it does say it. 139.7. That's the precise amount, and that's 5.5 inches. Now, despite the fact that that's below 15 centimeters, you are still getting stun, which is kind of weird because Wargaming said that they wouldn't have stun for anything below 15 centimeters. But we'll take it anyway because we want to have stun assist on the shells. And of course HE would create stun even at low levels. Oh, fantastic shot there on the T26E5. She managed to thread the needle and put it straight down that line, only on a narrow bit of the tank, and got some damage. She's up to 730 hit points of actual damage, but look at the stun assist. 2,000 hit points of stun assist so far in this Tier 8 game. Angelina's getting very, very difficult to beat because she's getting so good at this game. She knows where to hit the tank so she can get stun assist, and she even threads the shot onto the enemy through the narrowest of gaps. Rounds out the Renegade. Well, that one did some stun on him, and he got rid of the stun straight away, but she didn't get some actual damage. But it was a bit of a snapshot. Over in the town, and yes, this Arty does have a traversing gun. Still 22 degrees either side of the centre line. But I think she actually had to change the vehicle. She got a direct hit again, this time on the Wizzy 111, who's hiding in the streets in the town. She landed the shell right on the front of his vehicle. The standard reload for the 5.5 inch, well, I don't actually have it in front of me at the moment, but I can see that Angelina's reload time is 19.22, and I suspect that her reload is definitely better. And another hit on the Renegade. Yeah, he's wagging his gun, he doesn't like it. I'm not sure if he's wagging at us or he's wagging at our teammates who are closer to him. I think it's that, actually. I think it's the latter. But Angelina's making a big impression on him. And again, this time on the turret, 245 hit points. You can see that one landed next to the cupola. It's a big yellow mark where the shell went in. Oh, yeah, she's absolutely hammering the enemy team. And that's why our teammates are at the enemy cap area now. They're actually just trying to get rid of this Renegade, and Angelina's having a major effect upon him. Yeah, he doesn't want to come out from behind the rock. He's scared. He's scared that if he does come out from behind the rock, another Arty shell's going to land on top of him. Well, it's about to happen. She fires, and yes, he gets hit again. 158. And Angelina's stun assist has gone up to 3,200 as the Renegade dies. Yep, you can see how good a player she's getting. She's hauling in that stun assist, and all of that has a big impression on the game. The more the enemy gets stunned, the more they actually fall prey to your teammates, and the more credits you make overall. She's having a quick look through the town to see if there's any targets over there she can hit, and sadly at the moment from the position she's in, so close to the hills, it's very difficult to do anything except shoot down the valley. She'd have to move a little further away from the town in order to get shots on the others, but she's going for the T28 prototype. Rounds out. Direct hit again. 144. It hit the side of the vehicle. Yeah, just like the Renegade, that T28 prototype is going to suffer. You can see the GW Tiger's gone to hide in the town. She can't get a shot on him, just too close to the hills. Yeah, she needs to move to the other side of the cap area. Okay, we've got an ELC Ever 90. All of our teammates who went down the valley have died. She might have to move now, not to get shots on the enemy, but actually to avoid getting hit by the ELC Ever 90. In fact, there are now 3 tanks down on the enemy. It's not Angelina's fault. Angelina's been doing a fantastic job. It's the tanks that actually went down the valley to kill the enemy and arrived at their cap, and there was no enemy there, well, except that Renegade. And now all of them have died off. They all died cheaply. And Angelina's been spotted, and yeah, it's the ELC. He's fired 2 shots in, and I think this is the kill shot. She tries a hit, but dies from the next shot from the ELC. A good game by Angelina. Even though she died, she got let down by her teammates who just weren't up to the job. I reckon she says, oh well, I can only stun so many. Exactly. I mean, she was doing a great job, but her teammates let her down by giving themselves away cheaply to the enemy at the other end. They had this one in the bag, I thought. But no, the teammates just basically fell over themselves to die at the enemy's guns. All we've got left is this 122 TM. It is a Chinese Tier 8 premium tank. But trouble is, I don't think he's got the ability to win the game against these odds. And he gets taken out of the game by the T28 prototype. So sadly, this is a defeat. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second class tank of Angelina75 in the FV207. Only her second game, but it is the first time she's had a second class tanker. You get the scrolls underneath the first time you do something. She got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. She got 7, and she got a Confederate out that one, but she didn't get any kills. But she did hit a lot of the enemy and helped her team quite a bit. And you can see yet again her win rate is very high, 1,714. Let's have a look at team score. Well, again, she's on the top half of the table when the high scorer in the game was the Scorpion on the enemy team with 3,682. But the next high scorer was the T28 prototype on Angelina's team. And the third highest damage was actually done by the Brask. But you can see that Angelina did get more damage than all but 3 of the enemy team. And one of her own, which puts her in 5th place on damage with 1,862 hit points. When it came to base XP, she didn't get any kills by the way there. When it came to kills, it was actually the T28 prototype again. 4 kills to him, 3 kills to the Scorpion, 2 kills to the ELC Ever 90 that killed her and the GW Tiger P on the enemy team, and also to the 122 TM and Indian Panzer on her own team. Angelina didn't get any, but that actually contributed to her getting the Confederate medal. In fact, she was the only one who got a medal in the entire game. And when it came to base XP, well, we can see that Angelina was top on her team, but that it was a losing game. She was a little lower overall on the team scores. We can see that the highest scorer was the ELC Ever 90, who actually did kill her. 1,038 went to him, 994 went to the Scorpion, 842 went to the Brask. Angelina 562, which is not bad. It puts her about mid-table or lower part of the table on the overall. But it was still a very, very good performance for Angelina. 14 shots fired, 10 direct hits, no penetrations but 12 splash. damage of 1,862 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. She received 3 hits, all of them penetrations. They were all from the ELC M90. 7 enemy vehicles were damaged, none were killed. 3,231 hit points of stun assist of 12 stuns. Yes, that's what gave her the second class on this game. She did do a decent amount of damage on the enemy tanks, but she actually got a phenomenal amount of stun assist overall. 47,456 credits for the battle, 45,328 for holding ops, and 5,400 because she got a battle hero medal in a losing or drawn game. 98,184 credits altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, she still made a profit of 78,924 credits. So definitely did very well in a game. Even though she lost, she came out on top on credits, and also on XP she picked up 1,333 from that. So even though she had a defeat, this is still a very good score. And you remember in the previous game she actually got a first class tanker and a Confederate. This one she's got a second class tanker and a Confederate, so her score hasn't raised her in the stakes to get the weekend lie-in. But the next game we're going to look at is won by Talon. So let's see if Talon is able to beat Angelina's score so far. And here is the 212A, the Tier 9 Soviet SPG, and it's on the east spawn of Airfield under the command of talon1958. And we've got no sound. It's happened again. Wargaming! Fix your game! Okay, this time it will work, and I've pushed it ahead, so we've only got a few seconds to wait, and the game starts with engine noises. Okay, Talon's got the 203mm B4 howitzer as his main armament. That means he can do 900 alpha, penetrating 52mm of armor, and he's got a burst radius of 10.4 meters. His reload time is 29.23, but by the book it should be 37.39. So he's reduced it quite a bit. He's using premium consumables, he's got a rammer, he's got an excellent crew, and well, we'll see if he manages to beat Angelina. This was a bit of a rush game because he hasn't had much chance to play the game. He's been mostly chasing after Remy. He was telling us today that Remy will get up early in the morning and he'll have to get up shortly after Remy and chase around after him because he runs into one room, switches on the electricity, goes to the bathroom, switches on the water. He leaves general mess wherever he goes, but well, you can't but adore someone whose little boy is having a bit of fun first thing in the morning. Oh dear. I think he's going to stay upside down. That is a prime target for an Arty player, and I think that Talon really likes to hit that, but yeah, that guy's flipped himself. An Object 430, a Tier 9 Soviet medium tank, quite a strong tank. But he's managed to flip himself upside down, and Talon's relocating so he can get a shot on the guy. Oh, he knows exactly where he is because you can see him on the mini-map. Oh, and he's died. He has actually died, so Talon can't get a shot at him. He expired while he was upside down. There was always the hope that if he'd actually fired at him whilst his teammates were trying to fix him up right, that he might have got some extra hit points, but at least the enemy is down by one player. Meanwhile, we've got an UDES 16 with its pneumatic suspension. Well, that stunned him. That told him that we were looking at him. But I think he knew that anyway because he was actually shooting at our teammates. Unfortunately, one of our allies has chosen to go into the water and drown in, well, compensation for them losing their 430, and it was an FV207. Would you believe it? A Tier 9 British SPG. Somebody who obviously couldn't handle this battle or didn't like the odds stacked against them and probably thought it'd be better if they drowned themselves. Not very nice. In fact, I generally disapprove of anyone drowning themselves or killing themselves deliberately in any game. Fight it out. You've given odds, but you might win if you fight it. But, well, it's very disappointing when you see players give up like that and just go into the next game. And it's one of the reasons why Arty players get so much animosity from tank players. Not just the fact that they keep getting smacked from out of the blue, but also the fact that they actually kill themselves rather than let the enemy score their hit points. And so a lot of Arty players get attacked by tank drivers for the reason that some of the other Arty players just don't play the game properly. I'd rather ram the enemy and go out getting a few extra hit points from them than just suicide into the water. Rounds out, direct hit on the T95. I think he did hit him the previous time. That T95 had lost quite a few hit points. Okay, the 60 TP looks a very good target because he's just rocking backwards and forwards on the same spot. The TNH is a little more difficult to get at. Okay, almost ready to fire. You notice Talon's only firing standard HE with the stun. He's got a red line there, which means he hasn't got a shot from that spot. And he hasn't got a shot if he aims at the TNH, but he can get this guy. Rounds out. And he gets a direct hit for 346 and a massive amount of stun. Okay, T62A is over behind this rock on the airstrip. He looks a very good target because he's just sitting there immobile, not really doing much. In fact, he daren't move away from that position because if he does, he's likely to get shot at. But Talon's going to fire around in his direction. Oh, fantastic shot! Nuked him! Out of the game, back to the garage. Okay, looking around for the next target, and it's going to be the M103. He's just leading the target now. I think he's gone past that spot, but he gave it a shot anyway. The 60 TP and the TNH are now defending themselves in that corner, and I think it'd be a really good idea to focus on those two because they're both together at the same time. And the M103 did get stunned, and Talon picked up stun assist from that, so he may have been damaged by Talon's shot at the same time. Going for the TNH. Okay, he's just pulling back. He'll pull forward. Rounds out. Direct hit. 300 hit points. Be a good opportunity to change position slightly. Move a bit further to the further south. But he's actually staying near the same spot. The M103 went down. Now these two together are an easy target. But the thing is that he needs to move further south to get a shot onto them. He can certainly hit the TNH at the moment. Dialed in. Rounds out. And another kill shot. So 2 kills now for Talon. He's already got 1,292 hit points of damage, but only 1,190 of stun assists. Not quite as much as Angelina managed to get on that Lakeville game. Okay, one of the enemy tanks, the 60 TP, oh, just got wiped out. Now the enemy's winning at the moment. They're ahead by 5 tanks. And we're kind of being compressed against the back of the map. Talon's decided to head north, mainly because the enemy tanks that are coming in appear to be going directly towards our cap. That T95, who's low on hit points, is actually headed this way. I think Talon's decided he's going to fire over the cap. Oh, he's going to go for the TNH. I would go for the T95. In fact, there's another enemy tank closer, but he does take the TNH out of the game, back to the garage. Oh, I almost sound like Dr. Nix in saying garage. Yeah, I love watching Dr. Nix. He makes Arty an art form. Okay, the enemy Griller just died. We've claimed quite a few back, but we're still 4 tanks behind the enemy. Talon looking for a target. He's found one, but he's a little too close to this rock at the moment to get a shot on Unit 16. Okay, next target's going to be a VZ. No, changed his mind, and we just located where one of the enemy Arty is, because we saw the tracer from his viewpoint, from his firing point. Now, Talon's headed to the south, but the T95 is down there. He suddenly noticed that, but I think he's going to go for a shotgun. There's only 2 left now, the Char Future 4 and the T90 and himself, versus a T95, a Viz55, a Unit 16, a Jaegeru, who we haven't seen, and 3 Arty on the enemy team, and the Char Future 4 just died, so he's all on his own. He's been spotted. There's the T95 going for the... Oh, well, he got shot by 2 at the same time. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a... well, it wasn't classified, that game, actually. He didn't earn enough for a classification, but he did get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly, and nothing else. But we can see that his win rate was actually higher than Angelina's, 2,396. It's still in the very good bracket, but it wasn't enough to get classified, and he didn't get any medals. And he says this is the best game he's had in 5 days. Oh dear, that sounds like the teams at the moment are being very, very bad or very, very good. Let's have a look at team score and see where he stands. Well, it looks like in this game it was, well, he was performing well, but I'm afraid the rest of his team didn't. You can see that from the scores if you compare them to the enemy team. The highest damage in the game was actually done by the Viz55 and the enemy team with 3,852. Second highest was that TNH that he hit at least once, 3,435 hit points, and of course he got the kill on that one. And the third highest damage in the game was the Jaegeru. We never saw him, but he got 3,147 hit points, still alive at the end of the game. And we can see that Talon only got 2,365 hit points in that game. Well, there are 5 players on the enemy team ahead of him, 2 on his own, which means that he's in 8th place. But when it came to kills, he was actually in joint first place because he got 3 kills, and the 60 TP on the enemy team also got 3. 2 kills went to the STB1 on his own team, the Viz55, the Jaegeru, and the M53, M55, who also got a Confederate out of that game. When it came to base XP, well, the enemy team won the game, so they've got a bit higher base. 1,304 went to the FV3805 on their team, and he also managed to get a Confederate, whilst the next highest was their 60 TP with 1,094, same as the TNH Viz51, who also got the same figure. So I'm afraid Talon only got 464, but he was the leading player on his team, and the one that suicided, I think it was one of these 2. I think it might actually show which one. That was the guy who got shot. This is the guy who drowned himself, though. You should live in shame. Learn to play the game properly. Don't just go and drown yourself. Play the game. Even if you're going to die, you're going to die. So what? Get better. Get good. Okay, well, enough of my ranting at him. Let's have a look at the detail report. 10 shots fired by Talon, 6 direct hits, no penetrations, but 10 splash. So he actually got some pretty good hits on the enemy, and he must have hit some tanks with the same shot. So one shot would have actually hit the enemy, and another one probably splashed the enemy at the same time. 2,365 hit points of damage. All of it was done at more than 300 meters. He did receive a hit. It was a penetration. That was from the T95, and it wiped him out completely. But the shell from the Arty came in at the same time. Just a split second later, landed nearby. 6 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed. That's why he didn't get any medal, because of course he did kill quite a few enemy tanks, and most of them done with direct hits on the enemies. You see, 6 direct hits. Yeah, he was really rocking it, getting direct hits almost as well. Almost as good, I would say, as Angelina, because she gets direct hits as well on the enemy. She knows how to dial in, you see, and so does Talon. Talon taught her how to do it. 2,047 hit points of stun assist off 7 stuns. Not as much as Angelina, but still good. 40,964 credits from the game, 9,422 from Holiday Ops, 50,386 altogether, and after repair and ammunition resupply, still made a profit of 17,439 credits. Not as much as Angelina made, but still good. 696 XP, but no multipliers because, of course, this was a loss, and that's all the experience points he took away. So, sadly, Talon is not in the lead. Angelina's still in the lead for that first game she managed to play, the one where she got the first class. And so it looks like she's going to get the lion at the weekend, unless Talon can pull off an ace tanker to win the game outright in the meanwhile, or at least get a better result than Angelina did with a higher win 8. So I hope you enjoyed those videos. It's always nice to see this contest in action because, of course, these are members of What Arty Noobs who play for the enjoyment of the game, and they share their results with us on the channel so everyone gets to know how they're getting on. And they are getting better players. And a lot of What Arty Noobs players do play together, and damn good. Some of them are really good because you see the replays afterwards and you think, yep, these coordinations, these partnerships, these platoons would never have occurred but for the fact that there was What Arty Noobs and they got to know each other through that. So, well done. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do come back to our channel and our sister channel, The General, because there'll be more videos available for you shortly. Thanks for watching.